All right, so I got asked about tracking out or making a full song in MPC X and MPC Live and tracking it out. And once again, I make a lot of videos for people who are new to this workflow and to the MPC devices. So what track out means is that you can take each individual track in your sequence or in your song and individually export it so it can be imported into another DAW. All right, so I'm gonna show how that's done. Just started up my MPC Live. I'm in standalone mode today in the kitchen, and the sound quality may not be that good because I have it hooked up to a pair of headphones instead of a speaker, but here we go. Just turned it on. I'm going to an empty project. I'm gonna make this quick and simple, so hit menu, go to browse, I'm gonna hit instruments. I'm gonna turn up my volume just a little bit. I'm just gonna pick something that you can hear easy through these headphones. All right, so we'll go with that. Some strings, load that. Go back to main. I'm gonna turn my tempo down to, let's say 100. 2 bars, and I'm gonna tap my program. Make sure it's set on the strings that I just imported, and it is. I can also do that in all my programs that are already loaded in the show right there. All right, I'm gonna on my track, hit play start, and I'm gonna start recording something. But first, let me test these pads out. I'm gonna go to bank D so I get something nice and loud, full level, because I'm working with these headphones. All right, so we'll go with that. All right, so we'll just put anything on there. All right, so I got track 1, sequence 1. So we got to start there. So let's go over to track 2, menu, browse. Let's put something else in. I'm going to stay on MPC instruments. Actually, let's go with a drum. Go with something basic. Let's go with the acoustic rock kit. All right, go back to bank A. All right, so let's record that. I'm gonna put a kick drum, snare, and a hi-hat in. Yeah, pretty lame beat, but we cooking though. All right, I'm gonna scroll over to track 3, put one more track together. Browse, I'm gonna go back to instruments, find something else that's relatively loud. All right, let's add that in. Got the Booty Square synth. Loading, go back to main. I'm on track 3. Lead Booty Square synth. It's selected. See what it sounds like. Let's go something higher and louder. All right. That's what we got. So we got 3 tracks now. So let's name the sequence. Let's name it, I'm gonna hit this is my text icon right here. Let's name it. I'm gonna just call it name. All right. So that's name. So we got some options here. I can go right up here, untitled project. Actually, let's do this. Yeah, let's do that. I'm not going to name it. And I can go to export. And here you can see stereo output is selected by default. That means it's going to send it out like it would send out a song, and it's going to be in stereo. All right. Then you can go to separate programs, which means it's going to track it out based on your program. So we just did 3 tracks with a separate program on each. So it's actually going to track them out as individual instruments. So that may be the way you want to go. But if you want, let's say you mix several different things per track, and you want to be able to EQ everything and mix it down to fine detail, then you'll want to go to explode tracks. Then you want to decide what format you want to put it in. You can choose WAV, AIFF, or MP3. You can choose your bit depth from 8 to 32F, and your sample rate from 44.1 kilohertz to 96. All right, and then you just hit export right here, and you're going to decide where you want it to go. Since I'm on an MPC Live, I have an SD card here. I will export it to, and I named it MPC Live SD. I will export it here. You can make a folder for it, so it's easier to manage everything, or you can just simply export it as a WAV, MP3, or AIFF file, and it'll be showing up in your list there. All right, so that's how that will work. Now you can also do this. Let's say you want to make a full song. So what I'm going to do here, just for instructional purposes to make things and keep things simple, I got this sequence called name. I'm going to go to my pencil icon, and I'm just going to copy the sequence to make a new sequence. So it's going to copy that sequence, and it's going to go over to, I'm going to set it to sequence number 2, which is unused. Hit do it. I'm going back to my main screen. So now I have 2 sequences. I have one here. Sequence 1 is called name, and then I just copied it to sequence 2, which is also called name. And then, of course, you can change the name of it, so on and so forth. So now I'm going to hit my menu button. I'm going to go to song. And you'll see here, I have my song format, where you format your song. It's going to be in this list right here. So you're going to add sequences to this list right here. So I'm going to hit insert, and it's going to insert sequences. So it's automatically inserting sequence 2. Let's say if I want sequence 1 to start off, I'm going to scroll that back to 1. So now I got sequence 1 starting with 1. And this is the number of loops it's going to give. Let's say I wanted to do 2 loops on sequence 1. Keep the BPM 100 at 2 bars per loop. That's where it's going to go. And then it's going to go next. It's automatically going to play sequence 2 for 1 loop, unless I change it and change that to 2 loops as well. Then that's your song. Now you can go here and export here, but watch what happens. You can either choose stereo output or separate programs. But what if you want to export the tracks like we just did with the sequence? Here's what you do. Let's cancel that export. We're going to convert to sequence. So this is going to take all of the sequences that you just made a song out of, and it's going to bounce that song down to a sequence of its own. So I have sequence 3 is not used yet, so I can bounce that to sequence 3. Do it. Now, not much happens. It just goes back to this screen, but it just did it. I'll show you. Go back to your main screen. Remember, we had 2 sequences. We had number 1, then we copied that one to number 2. Now watch what happens when we go to sequence 3. Sequence 3. From song 1, unnamed. We didn't name the song and all of that. That's why it says that. But if we name, let's say we name the song name, then it will say from song 1, name. All right. Now you go back up to your project up here, which we didn't name yet. You tap there and hit export now, and you have all of your export selections. So now you have a full song that you can track out and take it to your other DAW and finish mixing it and laying vocals and whatever you want to do, that kind of thing. So that's how you build a song. That's how you export a sequence. Well, let me back up. First, we covered making a sequence and tracking it out, then making a song from numerous sequences and tracking that out. All right, hope that was helpful. Peace.